sorry. Really big sorry. This morning has just not been my day, has it? Okay, give me a moment. I've got a couple things I need to sort out now, but now that I've got my mic working, I can at least communicate with you guys. So yeah, that's to the extent of how bad this morning's been. My mic wasn't even working. It's an issue I've dealt with in the past and we've had a couple of times, but like it's normally pretty easy and resolvable, or at least in a quick sense. Also, I caught early that the stream was not on the right thing, so I could flick it to a backup. So now we're on the actual correct stream. So now I need to make sure I do all my stuff. Cool. Doesn't mean I need to reset up the other one, right? Yeah. I'll set that up now. Here, settings. So yeah, no, huge apologies on that. Just wasted 50 minutes of people's lives. What have you done? Dare I even ask? Okay, get that sorted. Cool, so that's now working. You'll never know? Okay then. Why did I choose a bright pink username? Oh, on Twitch, because I like pinks and purples. Those are my two main colors that I like. And they're very complementing colors as well, so. Okay, now I need to fix this. Layout editor. Save changes so I can actually have chat on my screen. How do you like color? I'm shut up. Don't start that shit here. Oh, you like that? Well, I hate it, so fuck you. Oh, bloody hell. You know, I'm a little upset at myself at the moment because, so I got something in the mail and I'll show it in a moment. I got it yesterday and I forgot to go fucking buy batteries for it today. When I went to the shop this morning. And I'm actually really upset because I wanted to show it working. But we can just show it. So it's actually on the shelf behind me. Like right... Wait, I need to remember how cameras work. Right. There. But I bet you can't tell what it is because it's so fucking small and far away. So, as I've said before, I'm a huge Star Rail enjoyer, and I actually ordered this last year. It has only finally just come through into the mail because it was like a pre-order of it being made. It is a little kudu sort of thing. I heard a stand figure, and you can get batteries for it, and it will kudu. I need to get some AAAs for it, but yeah, it's actually really cute. I'm gonna have this on my desk actually, because I want to have someone to talk to when I'm working. Where do I want it on my desk is the question. It's not going to get... I'll just leave it here for the moment. But yeah, so now I have a little tiny kudu herder figure, which I'm happy about. Also, I haven't even tied my hair up, so that's currently a mess as well. Where the fuck is my hair tie? Look at how much of a mess I am. Oh. Man, I need to get a hairbrush soon. Oh, cat, no, not right now. Alright, get this monster of a fucking hair tied up. So, yesterday I spent a good bit of time kind of going through and writing up exactly what I want to get done, when I want to get it done for this project. Well, I say when I want to get it done. Loose sense of that. Basically a prioritization list and kind of a list of just what I want to get done. So let me pull that up so I can kind of think about things. So there's a lot of little systems that I want to implement. And one of them is the shop. So I thought I might start prepping the stuff for that. Finally. So I have an improved system behind that. It also means that I'm gonna have to nerf a lot of characters, which is the fun part. You might go, wait, what? That is because I have a very specific kind of range of values I want the players to have, and because of introducing the concept of a shop, I actually overreach those numbers now by too much. That almost every character is going to... Basically, the thing they're going to lose is they're going to lose health. Every character is going to lose a bit of max health, I think. Just to bring them in line with my expectation. It should mean that they're still playable. Like, I'm going to be nerfing enemy damage as it is. So technically speaking, the player will get an indirect buff to their health from that, but they're going to be getting a lower total value. Especially keeping in mind, because this is another thing that might not make, what about the one that has no health? Currently there isn't one, but there was the idea of introducing a character I remember at one point that is going to have like little to no health, and have shield, right? That will be it will be very simple. That's why I've kept this number as low as I have. You had low HP character. I think the lowest HP character was like Iron Mouse or Gura, and they're like 40. We don't actually have that low of HP across the board. Let's actually look at that. So it's the first value? Yeah, first value. So 50, 40, 45, 45, 65, 40, 60, and 40. So yes, 40 is the lowest health value. That's just going to be changed down. I'm probably going to minus 10 from pretty much every character. And that is because the shop is going to be able to give you 15 health. Neurosummer, it would be in character because Vidal got suplexed by Villian. She's like, yeah, I did hear about that. Setting up DDoS protection. That's actually an interesting thought. Like, so... Can you send another DDoS so I can see if it works? See, fun little thing, and I think I've talked about this before, but so there was a time during our university stuff where we would, in the last semester, where we played around with server-orientated things. Now, I felt really bad during that course because all of my knowledge for it is really, really advanced, but it comes from the wrong angle of it all. So they kept talking about, like, the internal server stuff and what you do to prevent DDoS attacks. I know the other way around. I know how to do that stuff. I'm not the best ever, but I'm decent enough. Alright? I know how to corrupt packages and overspill and all that sort of stuff. So, at one point in time for a testing thing, they showed the IP of the university. And during that time, I decided to potentially show off. Thankfully, they were very kind about it, but they basically said, okay, we know someone's doing this. Whoever it is, stop doing it now, and there will be no action taken. And I'm like, oh no, okay, I'll stop. Because apparently there was a lot more hooked onto that network than I thought, and I potentially did some things. So yeah, that was funny. Turns out I still got it when I want to. I didn't breach any privacy or anything like that. It was just more that I could play around with their computer, and they weren't prepared for that because they showed me their direct IP. I just wormed my way into the network and found the specific point that they were using, and did stuff from that. The fuck have you been talking about? Got DDoS by like 20 people that stream, and they didn't do anything, just send messages. I like that. See, that's the thing. A lot of people misunderstand hackers and hacking in general, is that a lot of the time it's not per se malicious in intent. It's and this is, I think, something that's become more widely understood, at least nowadays, is that a lot of that stuff, people would do that because they want to prove themselves. Like, you say, oh, we've got an impossible to crack system. It's like, well, is it? I want to crack it now so I can prove that it's not and make myself feel better about myself. There's a lot of other stuff to it, but yeah, there was definitely a huge ego superiority complex to that stuff, and I will admit that I'm in that category for that sort of thing. You said DDoS, yeah, this is a day, it's also high. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff I do like. But yeah, no, again, most hackers in my experience, very few of them are doing it with malicious intent. The main intents that I saw was business, which I wouldn't consider malicious, and entertainment, which, now I want to stress, without malicious intent does not mean potentially malicious purpose. Right, so at the end of it, it might cause problems. Yeah, no, most of the time that is going to be the case, but with the intention of it being that way, not likely. In fact, I did know a couple of people that were really, really good at doing it, and they would just basically hack something and then send in the hack to the people and like sell them the hack, basically. Going like, hey, this is a breach. I can give you all the details on this, but I do kind of want a commission. And at that point in time, the company either has to take legal action, which if they did, it's like, I was offering it. I had no intention of selling it external. This was just purely a thing. Which it becomes a dubious area. That's why nowadays it's a lot more reliable to go to bounty sites, where like a company will put up a bounty to see if their stuff can be hacked, and you only work within that scope. which is pretty good. Would you be adding rec if you added fill in, like a skin or something? Just the same one, but has orange tips and the black outfit. I don't know. I can't confirm to that sort of stuff at this point, right? I think that's one thing I will say is I would love to do skins and stuff like that, but ironically enough, skins are not hard to implement. Skins are resource intensive for storage and for time, because I would keep in mind, what is the thing that's delaying most of the character stuff? Is the assets, right? So wouldn't it be an argument to say that a skin would take, I mean, realistically, a character being made, over half of the time spent making that character is art assets. So you're telling me make those same assets. Now sure, it could be the exact same model and I just recolor things, but I would need to recolor with shading and get all of that sort of stuff done. That is the issue, and that's what I stand by. Like, it's not that I don't want to do that stuff, is that is the problem. That is actually the only real problem with skins. I want to do them, I really do, but it's just resource time wise not easy. I can close that. So that's why I'm very much like of the, I don't want to commit to that too much, because like Juniper has taught me that that's a problem. Completely done and shit. If I had the engine, I would happily do all the art. I mean, I just use a sprite, right? And it's all PNGs. And A-Sprite's on sale at the moment on Steam, so. I mean, fuck, if you really want a realistic take, you do realize I could use MS Paint for all of the stuff I do. Because if you're wondering what the assets are, I can actually pull this stuff up. MS Bog. Genuinely, MS Paint could work. Because if we go into here... what's a better example? Like, this is literally what it is. It's literally a PNG of the thing. I've just started with some of the newer ones. I think with Monarch I did it. Yeah, Monarch I did strips. Because these are slightly easier. Which these are exact length strips. This is genuinely it. I take this, I put this into the game, and character sprites, Monarch. There. I'm not kidding. This is how, like, this is the sprite stuff. If you're gonna say that this looks easy and all that, fair enough, but that's... Don't know if that works exactly the same as the others. What do you mean? You, again, I stress, can you export as a PNG? Then you'd be able to do it. That's genuinely the only requirement, is if I can get it as a PNG format. So, transparent background is what I like. I don't need layers. I use layers in them, but that's it. But genuinely, this is... I only export as a strip like this because I can. And these strips make it easier for me in certain regards, but also not at the same time. The only reason... Okay, fun fact, you see how there's a GIF here? Do you know the only reason we have this GIF is so I can use it for marketing? There's no other reason I use this GIF. That's why it's a larger size. It's so I can put it on Twitter. don't use any social apps in general. That's actually a good question. I mean, Discord's probably the simplest answer, and I know that's not exactly an ideal answer, but yeah. I mean, I can't promise anything, but like that's, again, I've spent how long on the template? Because we've got the new template that I've been working on. I mean, you don't even need to download it. You could theoretically just do it through a browser, right? You just need an account. But yeah, like this is the template that I use. And where's the sprint template? Which the sprint template's still in work. Why is he thrusting though? It's just that position. Again, this slot needs to go on the end again. So I believe I need to do... Is it this? Yeah, so that means they wiggle. It has to be a pixel shorter than the others. Okay, do you want to know a fun fact? The game already has height 8 in it. I believe I can show the height stuff in the lobby. So I believe they get their height implemented on the sprite immediately. But yes, fun fact, all characters actually have height in this game. So, go through the disclaimer, get to the menu. Okay. No, it doesn't look like it does. Do it in the menu, that's a little annoying. Okay, the easiest way to show it is in the player characters. Do they stretch or just, it is a modifier on their values. So here, this is their size. This is exactly their, size modified, based on, obviously, their actual height. So, Vox is 1.78 meters tall, his character. That's what it is. So they stretch. Yes. But it makes the asset look correct, because if you just only made them taller or wider or whatever, it looks worse. Iron Mouse is 1.47. I think is she the shortest? I can't remember. Is Gura shorter? Gura is slightly shorter at 1.41. That would be funnier though. Again, this is where I point out, so while I kind of get your suggestion, the biggest problem immediately comes to mind of, do you have any idea how much resource and time and effort it would take to do what you're suggesting? It's already hard enough that some of the characters are going to have somewhat unique-ish movement and all that. But like, again, it's that thing of scoping, right? Like, I'm not going to overscope and say, oh yeah, no, I'll just, haha, funny, I'll make them shorter, like physically here. But that's the thing, is like, Gura looks tiny as fucking game. So does Iron Mouse. They are the exact same in here as, like, if we pull up, say, Aura, right? So this is Aura, she's one of the taller ones. And then if we pull out Gura, which is the actual shortest, it's exactly the same height. Why are you doing all the assets before you do the actual gameplay? Because the gameplay is pretty much done. Like, I will ask you, what do you think is actually missing of the main gameplay loop, outside of the bosses, obviously, which they require assets? And I guess UI elements, which is assets still. Like, I asked this very kind of innocent pointedly. What do you think's missing? Because you do realize we've been running with, could you imagine someone enjoying the game and playing it for an extended period of time? Yes, because I have. Do you have any idea how many times I run this game outside of stream and I play it? Like, I just play it. There are some tweaks that need to be made, yeah, and all that, but like, again, this is where I point at the majority of issues we have at the moment are asset related or finishing reworks, which those reworks don't actually change much of the game. Would someone devote time to grind this game, and would they have a reason to? No, but that's not what I'm wanting. I think you have a false impression of what is expected of a game. I want people to play this game and enjoy it. If they enjoy it for an hour and then never touch it again, that's fine. They've enjoyed it, right? Like, keeping in mind, this is, in a sense, this game itself is a love letter to a lot of the creators and just VTubers, obviously, in general, that I enjoy. So if people can see that, but that's not very much enjoyment. So? Wait, are you quantifying someone's enjoyment now? Are you enforcing that they have to play for 100 hours to be adequate? Like, you must play this game for 100 hours, otherwise it doesn't count. Because I'm sure you understand how stupid that sounds, right? Because then I could use that argument on so many games of like, oh, well, the game gets better after you've played 500 hours. So just suffer through 500 hours. I mean, would you rather enjoy something and gain things as you go, or get everything at once and enjoy it for 5 minutes and then be overwhelmed? Depends on what I'm signing up for. I don't know if I fully get your argument, and I will openly admit to that. Keep in mind that this game is going to be expanded upon, right? Like, the intention is that this is not the end cast of characters, and the hell, even of these characters, you're not going to have them immediately available to you. There's going to be more weapons, going to be more characters, going to be more stuff that's added. I mean, the fact is the shop's not even implemented, but that's mostly asset work. That's why we were going to work on the foundation for that today. Like, I kind of get where you're coming from with some of this, but you do have to realize that at the same time, like, what you're suggesting isn't quite what I'm intending. Is there any end goal at all? Is there any end goal in Vampire Survivors? Other than just playing it? Because you enjoy playing it? Oh, this gameplay loop is fun, so I'm going to keep playing. That's the only reason to keep playing Vampire Survivors. Sure, there's some in-game grind stuff, but you're not going to play the in-game grind because of in-game grind. You're going to play it because you enjoy playing the game anyway. Also, yes, hello, vendor. Like, I think you're putting the car before the horse in this argument. Of like, oh, well, you need grind to keep playing. It's like, no, you need a fun game to keep playing. And I'm focusing on the fun game. Yeah, but I've not played the boss rush mode. I just play the normal maps. That's what I enjoy. And this game itself is a boss rush mode. So immediately your argument's then kind of also invalidated. Like, what it gives the player something to do if they've completed the main part. I think you again, I think what you're asking is not in line with what I've intended for the game. And I think that's kind of the issue here. Because, like, again, the point of this game is to just play the game. Sure, there'll be, like, a shop where you have meta upgrades, but the point is to... If a player is good at your game, what do they get from it? Also, sorry for being... No. I mean, like, these are valid questions, right? Because, like, what you're asking now is questions I, in a sense, do ask myself, but I might not ask myself so pointedly. Which does lead me to a situation where I actually have to think through my answers. But, like, what do they get from playing the game a lot? Well, they get what they want out of it. Like, I'm not intending to create a reward structure or anything. Like, I mean, this is where I point at, like, holocure again, right? Is what does a player get out of grinding everything in the game? I've got pretty much everything in the game except for that final achievement. Because I've almost got all the characters to Oshi, and that's all I need to do. And I do that because I enjoy playing the game, not because there is a reason to keep grinding it. Sure, it gives me some things to do, but, like, I still play characters that I've max ranked. Which, in an argumentative sense, means that I'm actually wasting my time. Because you don't gain anything out of that, right? Like, giving a player things to do doesn't quantify to fun. Giving too many things to a player to do quantifies to now making the game a job, which is what I don't want to do. I want the game to be a game you can pick up and have fun. Actually, I'm gonna go through and do these values now, while I remember. So yeah, like, at the end of the day, like, I kind of get what you're trying to go for, but, like, again, that's my answer to that is simply achievements, leveling up characters, gaining new things. I wouldn't call it wasting time per se, but you don't gain anything, but you're giving the player too limited things while also giving them loads of options. Yes and no. So again, I will say, do you know how a normal game is made? So, say a champion in League of Legends, do you know how that is made? Because that process is actually very, very important to design game development. So, typically, let's pull up Paint for this. To just kind of express this a bit better. So typically you have the idea. I'm drawing with mouse. I need to get my fucking tablet. Give me a sec. Alright. You have the idea. Then you develop it further. Then what happens after that is there will be teams split up to work on things. So there'll be one that works on kind of the lore of the character, I guess, the actual character in terms of the story. There'll be someone that works on the assets. And then there will be those that work on the actual programming of the character. Whoops. And then these teams will work with each other to come up to an answer. So this is where that goes through, right? Not a single thing of this is done before another, per se. However, you'll see in a lot of the testing things with the programming, they'll use placeholder assets. This is where we're at with a lot of things. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to bring the assets up along with them, we don't need to worry about lore in our situation because the lore already is pre-existing because we're using pre-existing characters. So we're mainly here. So I'm trying to bring assets up to that same level for this. Keep in mind, this is where, like we pointed, this is what a team would do, right? Is a team would work with each other and keep things pretty plateaued so nothing's too far ahead of anything else and then waiting on the other team. Because that's really, really bad, because then you're wasting time. We don't have that luxury here. I'm doing all of the assets. I'm doing the majority of the programming. And do you have any idea how many, like, okay, this is where I kind of pointed at another aspect, right? Items and weapons. How many of those actually have all their assets done? Because simply put, I can point at, let's see, Anonymous Feather. I don't know if I'd call Arkham Umbrella done. Iron Mike. Technically Lovey Lovey Beam. And yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. So all of those are the only ones that I would argue are close to their assets being done. Why do I say that? Because all of them have icons. All the weapons are going to have individual unique icons. I've drawn these as well. And then there's the particle, which is the actual weapon, what it does in the thing. Not even all of those are done for all of the weapons. So when I say, like, the characters need to be done, the characters are the big priority because that's how I advertise the game. Fun fact, these streams have actually been nowhere near as successful advertising this game as the character assets. The character assets of what I've advertised this game the most. When I post those on Twitter, I get a huge amount of engagement from them. So they're a priority for that because purely because of that. So I wanted to up their quality. That's what this stuff is. Now, you might go, well, arguably they look pretty much the same, and they are, right? Because, fun fact, we can pull up this, which is the original template. So if we just delete this quickly, this is what this dude looks like. Can I just rip this apart? No, I can't like that. Okay, I need to open another sprite. Cool, so this is the comparison of the old and the new one. Is there a difference? There's a few differences, but the differences are fairly minor. Ironically enough, they've actually got a smaller point in where their legs are. Like, they're a lot shorter down there. Overall, I think they're a lot shorter as well, because like I've also pulled their head size down, because now it's only 3 pixels, whereas before it was 4 pixels to this point. So there's a lot less forehead space, and a lot more space to work with here. Then, these are on a 64 by 64 piece. These are now on a 32 by 32 piece, which means that they take up less memory space and waste less, because realistically speaking, this wasn't getting used. On even the most complex characters, I don't think I was really even using up this more than 32 by 32 space. I think Juniper Young is probably the closest I came to breaking that rule, and I can do something about that if I need to. Oh, whoops, I deleted the wrong one anyway. Yeah. So the now this looks really, really weird, but this is actually what these sprites look like. If we pull this one, because you can see I've enlarged the sprites here, and this makes it look a lot better. This is literally all it was. So it's kind of my point is that I'm bringing the quality up. And I have a lot of things to do that. And I've got a better understanding of what I want out of them. I mean, one of the things I'm excited to do with Monarch is that her run animation is going to be interesting because I don't want to, like... I'm probably going to make it so her dress moves pretty much as it does here. Because, like, I don't think it's fair to make it running because, like, I think it makes more sense that she has a bit of gliding around. But I might make her, like, do kind of a cool strut or a waltz or something like that with it. Because I think that would be a bit more in character with the design. But I do think that it is valid to criticize, in a sense, the idea of doing the assets before everything's done, but like, I'm doing assets for areas that have been done. And I cannot stress enough, the vast majority of this game is done. Since we've now fixed most of the issues that were pre-existing, we've got not much else left to do. So I hope you understand that that's why, like, I kind of mean this as a general statement. This is why I think the way I do on these statements. Alright, shop. I mean, the other statement on that is as well is I don't tend to do the art on stream. I do the programming on stream. So that means you only get to see the programming. You don't get to see the art. And you don't understand that. And like, think about how many hours a day I stream and realize I still do a lot more of programming outside of stream as well. So it begs the question of like, well, when do I actually do the art? And I don't do enough of the art. And that's, again, the problem. I need to visually see the progression as well with some of the stuff. I need motivation. Is it wrong for me to want to do art stuff so I can make my game look nice and see that progression? This is why I want an artist, and why the next game I do, I'm going to... I want to hire someone. Okay, so there's two values that we're gonna have. Health, level equals 0, health gain equals 3. Okay, so now I'm gonna go through all of the stuff here so I can actually set this up. Shop. There. Okay. Technically, this should be lowercase. Armor gain equals 1. should also add in health level max equals 3.5. Equals 3. Okay. So I think those are the main values I need, right? Yeah. Then I'll need cost, and then I'll need to figure out how I'm doing the multipliers of them. So it would probably be health gain, health cost equals, we'll just say 300 as a thing. And then we need to figure out how do we modify that. It's just probably going to be times the previous thing, right? So oh, how's the symboling done for this? How do you do the symbol for recursion? I think that will do. No, I need the sum, which means I need the fucking weird ass symbol. This one. Can I use that in here? I can. Cool. Cool. Math, everybody. Armor is going to be more expensive because it's way more valuable. So this is health, regen, level 0, gen level max equals 5, health regen gain equals 0.1, and regen cost. So I could probably make these individual constructors as well. Yeah, probably best. So we make function shop upgrades item constructor, and then the values we need to pass through would be current level, max level, Current level, max level, level, oops, level gain and base cost. So then we do level equals current level let's see, level max equals max level gain equals level gain and cost equals no base cost. So then we come into here and we have health, health item equals, should probably put in a name as well, just for sake of it. So we'll have name and what do you call it? Item name and item icon. Cool. That's wrong. And then we have new shop upgrades item. So the name is health. The icon is SP a non-feather icon, because that's our default that we use for everything. Current level, for now we're just going to have this as 0. We're not going to have this set like this in the future. It's going to be set very differently. Max level is 5. And the gain is 3. And the base cost is 300. Boom. And now we can delete this. There's probably an argument to be made. I can also add a description to these. So it kind of describes what this does. So health, gain max health, armor, reduce the damage you take, stuff like that. But I think I'm going to leave that for the moment. Again, very low priority potential thing. I mean, we don't even have the currency in at the moment, right? Like, this is the other thing you need to kind of keep in mind. We're making a system in very far advance. This is probably the most, like, cart before horse I've actually gotten with a lot of things. and this one can be 500 base as well, so it's going to be super expensive. Okay, so we've got regen, so now we get to okay, we'll do this one more item. And then I'm going to start writing in the other stuff that needs to be added for this. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10. Gain per level is 2, and the base cost will probably be like 200. So then we need to have let's see, global dot player stats. We're looking for that one. Dot. I think it's just. Is that what it is? No. What is it called? No, it's HP max, isn't it? Yeah. So gain. Oh god, gain's a preset value, so I need to change this. So this is something we need to avoid. If you use a pre-built variable, it can break this and make it not work. So we're going to make a security thing here. So what I'm about to do is my safety net from players trying to break the game. External to the game. So the level is less than level max. Then health item increase times no, it's not capitalized. Level. Else health item dot increase times health item dot level max. So this might beg a question. Why am I doing it this way? Right? This is a very valid question. Why am I approaching the values this way? So with this ternary operator, what this is going to do is it's a safety net. I'm going to be saving what you get in the shop to your computer. What this means is you could potentially edit it. I can't stop you from editing it. However, I can stop you from breaking it. That is my intention with this. What we have done is we've now created a cap. If you go into your files and edit a bunch of things, this is what you'll get. Now, I'm hoping that there is better answers to this in some regards, and there is a few I can think of. We'll implement them as well. But what this just basically means is that regardless of what you do, you cannot go over the capped amount and completely ruin the gameplay experience. This means every time, so this function, what this is going to do is it's going to be what I run every time you're about to go into a mission to add store stats to your characters. So it means that if I give you the save file will only have what your current level is. So you could put this as 10, but it'll only ever work as if it was level 5. Now, I'm going to probably, actually, let's write a, error clean up function that we're also going to run through. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through all of our items in this one, and we're going to ensure that none of them go over the thing as well. So actually we could probably just run this and it'll be the safety net. So if item dot level is greater than health item dot level max, dot level equals dot level max. So we're going to have stuff like this. And this will probably rerun at the beginning, so this just gives me more assurance that you don't try and break it. This is to try and like prevent potential runtime related issues where you fuck with the package, the stuff, and try and edit it in game, and that's going to cause problems. Which arguably I don't even need then, actually. Yeah, no, okay, that's what we'll do. I made a function for it after all, right? Do the error cleanup first. Sorry, I'm gonna be eating a little bit because I am hungry. Alright. Hello. The Void One, oh. God damn it, that name actually caught me off guard. Alright, so this should be what we need to approach with. We'll also have additional error checking. Have fun with coding. I tend to. It's very fun. Can get irritating at times, but you know. I think it's just armor. Alright, armor item dot level. Oh, that's another error check we probably should have in. Is less than 0. In case someone tries to create a minus value and breaks the system that way as well. Which is very possible. So what I could probably do then is I could turn these into an array and check the array like that. So instead of having direct value things, we check via array. Do it like this. Or do we do it like this? That looks probably better. Okay, damage. Great items. 3. So then we do a for loop. And then I++. Oh, don't want to do that yet. Do this, and then... There. Nice, easy way of doing that error check. So it does mean, however, we go into here and we need to start absolute coding these, which is fine. And it means I can just not really care about what it is. I just need to go and check here to see what value it is in the array, and I can find it easy enough. So let's have a get cost. So I just realized this needs to probably be an underscore. Get no current or cost equals function index. Array items index. So we need to actually have this as a return dot cost times in brackets 1 plus array items index dot level. I think that's fine. I swear to God, Cat, you're just expecting me to be like way messier of an idiot than I am. Man's waiting for food. You have food in your bowl. Why are you harassing me? But yeah, no, one thing again, I do kind of want to just reiterate, this is a thing that I'm going to keep reiterating. The shop is not implemented, is not going to be implemented for this current update cycle. This is pure and simply me now getting super ahead of myself. because I wanted to work on something like this. And I figured out the numbers last night. Because that was one thing is, can I show this without showing too much? Or... you can kind of see from this, I'm not gonna go too far into this, but like this is kind of me just sorting out some of the numbers. Doing some of the rough calculations in my head. Ooh. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. But yeah, so that's just like kind of where I'm sitting with these numbers. Seeing what they would look like. Playing around with them in the head. Now, I want to stress something. I've complained about this myself, so I'm not sure if I'm actually going to even end up implementing it. Is the concept of bonus currency. So I have an personally I have an issue with games that give you the choice of having a meta currency, and one of the meta currency upgrades is to get more meta currency, because it feels then like you're grinding to grind to grind. Right? Like you're grinding to lessen your grind, but in the end, that lessening the grind would probably not be the case if that grind was never there. The value of it is just to inflate things and just increase the amount of things that you can tick your boxes with. I don't quite like it, however, it's so universally done that I've got it in the design list for now, just off of that concept. I hope that's understandable. I know that there's probably some really poor phrasing of that in my part, but it is just something that really gets to me. It is just like, well, what's the point? Now, that's where I do kind of want to point out, like, I would love to actually have someone help crunch numbers with me on them. Of games in general, and like how much meta currency upgrades actually matter or not. Because, yeah, like, is adding a meta currency upgrade to your meta currency stuff the correct thing to do? I don't know. I really do not know. Right? All right. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, just checking my settings. Gotta check that stuff from time to time, you never know when it breaks. But yeah, so with this error cleanup, we should be safe from anyone breaking things. And these are just values that go in. And it's easy enough to tweak stuff long term if I really must. Because again, like this is why we're trying to aim to do stuff malleably. That's why I'm just doing most of the baseline stuff here, and that's why like the cost is going to be like getting the actual current cost is going to be a function. We're also going to probably have a function for like get current level, and wherever is getting it is also going to have like a comparison of is this max level or not. Okay, sorry, just getting something sorted at the moment. Hmm. Okay, sorry. Again, kind of the long silence, so much code. It's also I'm messaging a friend about something, which tends to take up a bit of time. So we've got damage. So what's next on the list? I understand. Yeah, no, it's fine though. All right. Area. Area is the exact same scaling? Yeah, and we're probably just gonna have it the same cost value as well. I don't see a reason to change that. So this is where we're at now, is that it's like this easy to add in our shop stuff. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not going to go too much further with this. I'm going to probably get like most of this baseline in and then leave it at that, because again, this isn't something that's supposed to be implemented until next update. Not even the update that's coming out to itch, whenever that comes. So someday we'll have the next expansion though. Honestly speaking, we're probably at the point where it's not even that far off, right? Thinking on the things I had is the list that needed to be done. I just probably need to finish with my cleanup and then I'll just call it there with it. Okay, so this is very different. Cooldown rate, you have 5 values. And and you go up by 3 each time, and you're going to be far more expensive. This cooldown rate is very, very potent of an effect. Oops. Then it is pick up range. Just call it pickup. This one is actually really small, right? Yeah, so we have it as 3, but it increases by 5 per thing for now. This can be cheaper. So this is experience. So how much does this increase by? It starts at 5, ends up at 30, increases by 2, 4, 6 times. This can be slightly more expensive, maybe not that much. Now this is the one that's the controversial one. Well, controversial to me. I still don't know how I feel about that. Increasing the amount of meta currency you earn with the cost of meta currency. It just... Is it just adding grind for the sake of grind? Because, like, let's be honest, the real strategy is just accept you're going to be weaker and get the currency upgrades as fast as possible. Get everything in between the currency upgrades, because, like, this is also going to have refunding. So if you have individual refunding, you just spend everything on currency, then use it on anything else, and then pull back on that each time, right? It's like you reset, put all into currency, then add your bonuses, then you do a run, then you come back, then you reset, you put all your stuff into currency, and just like kind of keep playing it like that. I don't know. I really don't know. Now this is where we start getting to the interesting, in a sense, ones. So we've got enemy spawn rate. Which is 3 and 10, and we're gonna make this spinny. Because that's going to be such a impactful sort of effect. And then this one. So, in the past, we have talked about modifiers, right, for runs. And I kept tossing up with the ideas of how I wanted to give the player more modifier value. So at the moment, I think it's hard set to a specific value, which I think is slightly higher than what it's supposed to be by base. And we were considering, like, oh, do you just tweak the difficulty? Do you yada yada yada? Now, obviously from this kind of discussion, you can probably guess where I'm going. is we're going to make it an upgrade in the shop. However, I've decided a rule that I'm going to make. So I'm going to be pretty particular on the statement here. Modifier total value does not mean that that is what the value will be every time. It is the utmost of what can be obtained potentially. So what it means is that the portal can be... So the base value will be 2 to 1. So it's 2 values positive, 1 value negative. And then every number increase from here will increase the total potential max. So it will always be a -1 ratio to positive to negative. So it'll always be 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, stuff like that. Like it will always be increasing. With negative will increase with the positive like that. And then the values will be randomized within that scope of like, can this even be a value? Yada, yada, yada. What I'm doing with this is I'm making it so it can then roll the max value for positives within this range. So it can be, if you've got one, like all of these upgrades, so for example, I think the most expensive modifiers at this point, do we have a thing for that? I think the Apex looks like the highest cost, so it's 7. So we would have this upgradable 5 times at a value of 1. And what this would do is that, like, if I upgraded this all the way to 5, it means I can be either between 2 and 7 positive value. In between those values. Doesn't mean I'm getting 7 every time. It means that I can get up to 7 from the portals. So this upgrade's going to probably feel kind of shite. And it's going to be one of the later dump values, but it's going to give you so much more range that you can play with. That is my intention with them. So you might immediately click on to though is that these are actually stats that the player would get for this run, and these are 2 stats that this one affects the run during the run in a sense, and this is one that affects before the run. So my hope with this one is that this upgrade will basically, it'll reset the room when you leave the shop, or reset the portals. And you can like increase and decrease this one if you want. So if you don't like the variants and you like just the more basic runs, you don't need to upgrade this. That's fine. I think that's kind of what I want to go with for it. For now anyway, because I think that that's going to lead to an overall... Sorry, I got distracted with something. An overall better experience, because it means that like it's still opt-in, opt-out, but those players that might enjoy the variants of the modifiers can do so. I might make something else later so you can clamp it more. And force it to be higher values. We will see. And we'll try and go like that, right? I mean, we need a lot more modifiers as well to be added to the game to make this sort of system feel better. And there's a lot of them that are still waiting on systems to be finished. Which I know immediately the statement on that is like exactly what's before. Was the beginning of the stream, which was the discussion around why bother doing art assets when you haven't finished the game. It's like, well, because all of the stuff for the next update's technically done except for the art assets. Technically. There's a couple of more like cleanup and functionality tweaks that I'd like done, but we're more or less there. And And that's kind of the point to make with that, is just how, yeah, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we work on assets then as a priority? I'm doing this because I don't really feel like working on assets on stream. So we're working on pre-doing a bunch of code, which, again, this is something that was never going to be complex. I think they said this ages ago, is that the shop was never going to be complex. Is that the addition of it adds complexity. Does that make sense? So some of the changes that will need to be made to this is setting up these values correctly. So what we're going to need is, I'm going to have to set up a save system. Currently we have a save system for settings. I will add to that a save system for these values, and I'm going to make them in an INI at this point, because that's the best example I have off the top of my head to keep them safe for now. Because again, keep in mind, we're trying to make it so if you really, really badly want to, you can probably edit the values and get your levels without needing to play the game. But I'm going to be honest, you're probably going to ruin your experience with that. But I know some people are going to want that. So there's a chance that we might move it away from an INI and we might move it to something else. I'm concerned with these cats, man. Yeah. I don't think there's much else to explain about that, right? Trying to think. Also, I just realized technically we got this incorrect. So, is there a simple recursion game maker? I need to try and see if there's someone that's got a good recursion answer. Hey, Roger. Hey, do you have a good idea for reductive recursion, Roger? So like recursion that would be just looping downwards until it hits the 0 point. question, right? So what I mean by that mathematically, so just here, if I wanted to per se make this loop the cost a certain amount of times, so I want this to times by 2 for every level. This cost here, because I can't think of the stuff for that off the top of my head. Because exponential there, but that's gonna power it based on the potential, isn't it? Or no, it's the original. Okay, you know that, I think that is correct then, right? Yeah. So it's okay, times and then it would be is that how? No, that's not how the yeah, that's not going to be how it works, right? Now you're making me question some things. Wait. And 4 is 16. Okay, no. So yeah, that is what I want. Yeah. I was getting confused there. So this here should be the thing then, because I want it to be that. Except I want it to be level +1 because the... No, I don't. Right? Wait. I have to do some math in my head. I need the base value. Fuck. Okay. Level 0 will be base cost. Would it? Isn't this gonna result in 0 though? So it'd be timesing by 0, which would equal 0. 2 times 0 to the power of 2 would be... Does it fucking... How bad is my math? Anything to the power of 0 is 1? Oh god, okay. I guess I'm very out of it then. Okay, no, alright, that's fine then. Yeah, so that is the thing. I do not remember that rule in math. My bad. And there's one of those. Okay, give me a second. I just need to... Gonna just get rid of that. I have no time for advertisers. Let me just hell with that. No, it should delete itself in time, right? Oh, there we go. Thank you very much, Roger. That's right, it's because it's a fucking the way that these are done. I can't actually get rid of that stuff. But no, thank you very much. Okay, awesome. They have no right to be here. Yeah, I've said this before, like my opinion on going to those sorts of places and advertising like that, like I'm gonna be real with you, Chief, I just don't care. If I'm going to pay for that sort of stuff, I'm gonna go look for that myself. Thank you. And I'm not gonna pay for it right now, because I don't have money. Look, I forgot to get AAA batteries, man. Like, you think I'm splashing for cash here? I need 2 AAA batteries for my thing. For my little figure that I got. Oh, you weren't here for me showing her, Roger. I got kudu kudu. Once I put batteries in this, she gonna actually kudu kudu. It's gonna be great. She's sitting on my desk now, and I'm happy with it. You have the full noise. Fuck yeah. Your mom's pissed. To be fair, you know what this funny thing is, right? So I watched a little thing on Twitter last night that was just one of those like goddamn moments where it was a kid bought a $600 purse off of her mother's credit card and just god. Don't get me wrong, the fucking mother did not discipline or handle that situation correctly, but like holy shit, that child was raised with like that child has the mentality that like they can get away with this, and that was something that was just like holy shit, you did that shit when I was younger, you got a fucking smash. Not even a smack, you're getting smashed. You're just getting fucking like full-blown punch in the face by your parent at that point. You're getting your teeth knocked out. You ain't having baby teeth. You're going into your room, not because you need to go in there, but because you want to fucking hide while you cry. That says a lot about me, doesn't it? Huh. Yeah. But like that just completely, holy shit, I was just so upset watching that. I tend to avoid that stuff because I'm like, I don't want to just watch shit on the internet to get upset at things that have no relevancy to me, because that just winds me up more, and that's what people do, right? But like that was one of those ones where I was like, I might as well watch it. I'm me because at some point I decided I'm going to be aggressively yeah, like that's the thing, right? Be yourself, but also in that situation, right? So Roger, you're talking about how like you've spent a shitload on that collection. Whose money was that? Is the simple question. Whose money is that? I know the answer, but I'm just kind of using it as a point. And I'm sure you know exactly what the point I'm making with this. It's yours. Wow. Guess what? That means you have the choice. It is on you to make the decisions. Sure, it's like, holy shit, you spent a shitload of money. My God, what's wrong with you? Don't get me wrong. Like, I berate my friend from time to time on that sort of shit. But nonetheless, it is his money. I will advise him. I will give him, like, soft advice, but I will leave it at that. But this kid fucking used their parents' money for that. And I'm like, no. It's not like I do it daily. Exactly. That's the other thing, right? Like, I mean, that's not even it, right? It's like if you did it regularly, as long as you understand the consequences of your actions, that's fine. But a kid's not going to understand those sort of consequences, as well as that's not even the kid's money. So there is no responsibility involved in that. Like, if I gave my kid an allowance and they decided not to spend it on anything and buy a $600 purse with like years worth of save up, I would tell them you're an idiot. but it's your money, right? And I think that's genuinely fair. Like, fuck, I will say this many a times, like, when it comes to phones with kids, right, I would not be giving my kid a smartphone. They are going to earn that shit themselves. I will get you a bargain bin phone that will do all of the essential stuff you need from like the supermarket. That's probably like maybe $100 at most. And I'm not replacing that shit. You're going to replace that if it breaks. And it means that you're going to have to deal with the consequences if it broke. So if it breaks and now that means I don't have ability to contact you, that means that you can no longer go places that I would not be able to contact you without it. That would be my rule. And maybe that's me sounding like a very scary father, but like I've looked after kids before. I've worked with kids a few times, and I've worked with adults a fair few times. These are the rules I would use because I know how people think. It gives you all of the freedom, but the responsibility of that freedom. So it means that you take ownership for your actions. However, it means that you've got safety nets. Because I'd probably be giving you an allowance, which is something that you wouldn't get normally. And I'd probably give you a baseline, like I'd probably give a baseline allowance and then an allowance bonus based on tasks done or something like that. And I'm gonna say this now, I'm not gonna fucking tie homework to that shit. Fuck you. Homework's a mistake. The amount of kids I know that, I mean, I'll put my hand up. I did fuck all with homework and look at me now. I bet you most of the kids I know, and I can probably find this out, most of the kids I know that did fucking homework, like, intensely, could probably not even fucking fathom half the shit I talk about, let alone do. And that's not to say they're stupid, it's because they were too cookie cutter, and they can't think for themselves. I went home to enjoy and relax a lot of the time, or be creative. Actually, you know what I got reminded of the other day? Structured learning pushes you to only follow the structure. Correct. I really hate structured learning. I'm really bad with it. But so, you know, does anyone... Roger, you might know Stargate, a series that was on TV a good while back. So I was a huge Stargate fan when I was younger. I am not even kidding when I say this. I made, out of paper and sellotape and pen, a fully kind of movable 3D Stargate. So that meant that the inner ring would move, the chevrons would move, and all of that sort of stuff. And I could put a, what is it called again? The, like, shield that we would have. Like, I did that all with just paper and sellotape. And it wasn't actually that much sellotape because I would just do it all correctly. I didn't even fucking measure half of that. And I did it correctly. I could make it that it had a base as well, and that you could take the base in and out. Like, take the Stargate out of the base. All these things. That is the shit that I was able to do when I was younger. I still could probably do that shit, and that's why, like, I'm super interested in getting into more, like, handicraft stuff again. Because that was genuinely one of my big origins, this is before I even really touched computers. We're talking, like, I made a fully movable and usable Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual disc out of, like, paper and sellotape and a little bit of cardboard in some areas. I mean, I made a fucking Mega Man thing as well. Like, I did all that shit. That was what I fucking loved doing. So yeah, I'd go home and do that stuff. And you're gonna tell me off for not doing homework when I just made a fucking Stargate in like 2 days. How fucking dare you? I was actually, as I got older, I got more rigid. That's why I kind of want to go back and do some of that stuff. It's an absurd thing to accomplish stupidity, yeah. Can't say shit to you, I just broke the laws of physics, oh god. But yeah, it's something that always bugged me with that stuff. So yeah, if I was to tie, like, it would be stuff around the house, right? And that argument, going back to the allowance thing. It's like, hey, did you assist with cooking? Did you, like, or at least offer to assist with cooking? Did you do cleaning? Did you do your own laundry? Or did you assist with other people's laundry? These sorts of things, you get rewarded for that. You get rewarded for participating with the rest of the team or the household. Which I think is the correct reward structure. It's not individual per se focused and individual attainment focused, but more like general. I don't know, again, like, this is all speculative. I might change my mind between now and then, but this is something that I've thought since, like, I was pretty young, actually. Because this is how I thought I would probably have learned better, but obviously I had a shit parent, so there was no way that was going to work. I think it's just cooldown. Should we implement the cooldown stuff? I don't want to do it right now. It's just going to be like sort of replacing. Oh. Hey, kitty game. Alright. I need to double check something. Yeah. Yeah, all of the it's now July, so stop being gay memes are getting posted everywhere. How dare they? I want to go back to being normal gay and not like special gay. Why does there have to be a month all about gay? I'm gay normally. Why do I have to be extra gay for a month? Just saw a tweet from Heavenly going like, I play Minecraft with keep inventory on. I fucking kind of love that. God damn. What is the series I'm watching at the moment? Is it the fucking OP at level 2, whatever the fuck it is? Which is such a weird isekai, because it's like an isekai from an isekai. To anyone that might not know, so that one is a series that is... Dude is in like a medieval fantasy world and gets isekai'd in like the typical isekai fashion of like, oh, we've summoned the hero, and they're supposed to have blessings and shit. It's so fucking weird. And something I've noticed with like the last season of anime is so much more of it either seems... It's either that the pacing has just gotten better over time, or like they're just speed running 90% of the story nowadays and not caring at all. Because like the stories are progressing so much more wildly fast. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Because it's nice to not have to be sitting there for like half an hour with one scene. But like when... With that one, I do think it's some of the decisions from the animators, and I do dislike them. There was one scene, I'm not even kidding, it would look at a character, pan to the main characters, then it would do the exact same shot. Like, and it did it 4 times, I think, in a row, or 5 times in a row. And it was so weird. And it felt like it just removed me from giving a fuck about what they were talking about, because I'm like, why are we doing the shot again and again? It's not a good shot. It's an attempt, in a sense, for them, I guess, to not do the problem with anime often, which is to just have a stagnant slideshow scene. Alright, when you've got a lot of explanation, you've got characters on couch A and characters on couch B, and they're talking between each other. Typically speaking, the scene will have like a zoomed out shot of them talking at each other, and like nobody's actually moving. Maybe their mouth is moving. And holy shit, it's so bad when that happens. It's because it's just like, well, what's the point in watching this? I'm basically podcasting a manga. And that's a big problem. That's why I praised, what was it I praised the other day for that? The 7th Prince one, I think it was. Where like that had so much motion in it. And I loved that. Yeah, I reincarnated as the 7th Prince, that one. That one is really, really nice. I loved the fact that there was actually so much fluidity and motion in all the scenes, because it meant that like I never felt like I was just looking too stagnantly, and they still had stagnant scenes, but like you're fine getting away with them from time to time. It's just when 90% of your shots of that outside of your action scenes, which is what the level 2 one is. Yeah, chilling in another world with level 2 super cheap powers, or level 2 karachi data moto yusha koho no matari isekai life. That one's I don't like that one. I wouldn't rate that very highly myself. I'm not done with it yet though, as well. Like I'm at episode 6 or 7, I think. Yeah, episode 7. So I'll finish that today and get back to my final thoughts on that on Friday. I'll probably watch something else as well today. I don't know what I want to watch today. Outside of that. Maybe Newgate. I heard a lot about Newgate, so I'm kind of mildly interested. Oh, is that Yuri? Hell yeah, I might watch that later. Sasayuka, no, wait, Sasayuka, Yuku yo nikoi wa utau? Don't know, I'll have a look. Oh god, is that another banished from the fucking Heroes Party one? I watched so many. Why is that a trend? It's like, oh, this dude got banished from the Heroes Party, but he's actually stronger than the hero. Or more useful. Mixed feelings about those ones. They can be done and they can be fun. I've seen a few of them that are really, really enjoyable. But like, holy shit, most of the time, no. They're bad. Brain rot anime? I mean, that's the best anime, right? To be fair, like 70% is brain rot anime. This is why I binge it all at once, so I get the brain rot out the way and then just move on. The problem is I tend to watch the good ones early, and then maybe find like one diamond in the rough as I'm watching. That's why I'm, in a sense, it's also why I'm saving other stuff. What is it? Mushoku Tensei. That's why I'm kind of saving that second season, because I want that to recover from generic brain rot into better brain rot. Got one which shows the same story, but the Banisher side, only manga though. They actually did it with good reason in the manga. Ooh, you interested me with that. I'm not gonna lie. What's the name? Give me the name so I can look it up later. Because at the moment I'm still just reading the fucking, that one Korean manga. I don't remember it currently. Oh, you bitch. Flick it on the Discord later or something. If you do remember it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting back into the, like, reading a shitload of manga and reading a bunch of anime mode, so I might do some stuff around that. Like, I keep saying I was gonna do, some reviews, or, like, some maybe, like, quick short videos or something like that around that. I wonder how interesting that would be. I don't know if that's, like, quite what this channel should do, though. Right? It's the difficulty. Oh god, the story of the Banisher's side. After banishing the party member, the party was weakened, but we aim to be the best in the world. There we go. It's not amazing, but it's a breath of fresh air. That is all I care about. Do you have any idea how much I watch series because they're just, or read stuff just because they're a breath of fresh air? Oh. No promises that I'll read it within the week though. I'll probably read it at some point once I finish the current manga. Maybe if I go back to that other manga, which I'm still hesitating on because it's just so boring. I dislike that with some. It's just like sometimes you come across something and it's like, okay, well this is interesting of a concept, and then just like they fucking go generic or something with it and they just do it wrong. You're like, I'm sad. There's room for generic. There's plenty of room for generic, but when you have a unique, interesting concept, don't submit to doing it generically. Own that shit. That's why Real Life was cool at the time. Real Life was really, I really loved reading Real Life. Highly recommend it as a read. It's just such a good story. The anime fucked it quite a bit because it skipped like, I think it skipped like fucking, how much did it skip? I think it skipped almost like 50% of the story. Reverse isekai. I wouldn't call Real Life reverse isekai. Or are you talking about like other stuff? The world starts fusing with ours, but only partly. Ooh. See, I've seen some stories like that. They're cool. I mean, you've always got like the returning from isekai stories, right? Which I think are kind of cool concepts, because it's like what happens when they actually, when the story is over. That's why Frieren was such an interesting story as well, is it's like, what happens when the hero's journey is over? What is next? What is, I mean, beyond Journey's End? That's why that story was so good in my eyes, or at least the non, like, My Hero Academia shite of it. I still liked that, but still, it was definitely, the first half was better. See, now the story you're describing, Roger, that sounds like such an interesting story to me. And I could see that being done so well, because then you'd just get like, the main character would know the areas really well, or some shit. So they would like have the fire character chase them, and then they would stop at an exact point right on the edge, and then like somehow switch the situation around or some shit. And like that shit would be cool. There'd be so much room for interesting outplay sort of things. That's why I liked God's Only Game, right? Because I kind of like watching smart characters. Why do you think I liked fucking No Game No Life? Like, I like watching smart characters be smart. Code Geass even. Code Geass was kind of fun for that. It's your arcs of story are a problem that needs to be resolved, and it's all about seeing how that problem's going to be resolved. That is how they do their arcs. Now, you could argue that's what stories are normally, but it's like a literal task. In the game version, ones like God of Games and No Game No Life, those ones have it as a specific game as the challenge, and I fucking love that shit. Just seeing the way that they would like approach a situation. I mean, like in God's Own, the God's Games one, that one's interesting because the main character's ability is useless 90% of the time. And I like that shit. If only temporary between what's fused in your Ooh, that would be a cool power, yeah. I mean, that reminds me of Bastard Teacher, right? I still think that series deserved more attention, and I fucking absolutely adore the power stuff in that. What is the most powerful character that is the one that we're following? Well, you see, his power is to fucking punch you in the face. What? And say, well, you see, it's because his full Arcana card means that when it's activated, nobody can cast anything, including himself. So he just levels the playing field to that point of no magic combat, so there's no bullshittery, which then leads to a situation where it's like, okay, so how do you win this fight? I punch you in the face. So what I learned how to be good at, I learned how to do military combat really well, hand to hand, everything. And that's what made his character really cool and compelling to me, is it's just like, it's OP because it's a nerf to everyone, right? It has a drawback, but then you utilize the drawback to be stronger. That's why, like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is that sort of shit, right? That gives you an advantage because they don't expect to fight with it. Yeah, exactly, right? You're in a world where like magic users, and now they're like, cool, so we just need to like make a barrier against magic. It's like, cool, that's no longer effective because I'm not using magic. I'm here to use my fist and put it in your face. And then you can't counteract that because you put up a barrier against that, and now that doesn't work. It's such a cool idea. I love that shit. That's why I love that sort of stuff, because it's just... It's really interesting to see how they would utilize that. How do you take the rules of a universe and invert them to your own advantage. That's why null magic stuff has always been interesting. That's why I'm actually really upset, because I never read or watched Black Clover, but I'm pretty sure I would have enjoyed, at least conceptually, what the main character could do. Right? Because that's exactly what I would love to sort of see. But that's why there was one isekai story, I can't even fucking remember its name, it's been so long, but his power was literally to just nullify magic. That was his main power, and it meant that he couldn't do magic either. And it was so enjoyable because, yeah, it just creates the situation of, I can't become really OP, but I can stop everyone else from being strong as well. So it's that levels the playing field, but you're used to fighting on that playing field, so you can beat them with experience. So with that idea that you're putting forward of like, you can move territories a little bit and stuff like that, that would be so much fun, because it's like, well, this is clearly the fire zone. I can use my fire magic here. And it's like, well, no, now it's the ice zone. So you're not only nullified, but you're weaker. I don't have to beat you at your best. I just have to stop you from getting there. Yeah. I love that shit, man. That shit's so cool. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm very much that dichotomy of, I love when a character is just, I'm so strong, I could have won the final fight from the beginning of the series, and it doesn't really matter. But like, then you're seeing the characters' like thoughts and discussions and feelings, and those are what are actually important to the story. And then you have the inverse of, the character is super fucking weak, but they bring people to their level or bring them to that sort of realm, which then creates these interesting combative environments. So again, it's that dichotomy. I like both of those. I really do. That's why I like fucking Tensura, right? Because like, Rimuru is OP as fuck. There's no way around it. That's just how it is. Just kind of have to accept that shit. That's why I kind of dislike Smartphone, because like, it takes that side of me talking about like the really OP stuff and then just gives you a bland and fucking boring character. And that means that like, so it's just watching an OP character do OP things without any like interesting things going on. Shadow from Eminence of Shadow. That is a great example of what I'm talking about with like, is Shadow really overpowered? Fuck yes. He can pretty much end all of the fights really early on, and he just, I mean, he could just nuclear bomb the planet if he wants to. But it's watching what he does with that power, going through those environments, playing around and having that fun. That's what's enjoyable about that story. Not that he's OP, it's what he does while being OP. That's that aspect, right? And that's why I've just kind of started to move away from those stories where it's like, from zero to hero, they're interesting, but the problem is often they don't explore the 0 point very much. They just speedrun him to hero, and then it just feels like there's no, what's the term for it? Tension, right? So like, they get to hero and you're like, cool, so they're just gonna win. And it's not even really an interesting thing of you wonder how they're gonna win. It's often that they just like, oh, well, they're just gonna overpower them with some bullshit attack. The same attack they've used the whole time. Those ones I'm really sketched with nowadays, and that's why I think I've just moved away from them a fair bit. I don't know, again, I think Japan has a really good trait with how they write into character stories sometimes. It's why I designed characters who are defining, who have defining traits of, in general, even multiversal gods. Of, there are only 11, avoid them. Or if it's just this guy, because it doesn't care about when, yeah. Like, my main story I have a character that's super OP, but like, he is limited in his capacities, by choice and by other factors. And the story is not about him being strong, it's about him dealing with consequences of him thinking I am too good. Like I am so above everything else. The decisions I make should be the ones that affect everything. And what's the consequence of when those are bad, and you're not in that position all of a sudden? So now you need to own up for that. That's the point of that story. The finding trade of the weaponized void, where gods can't go explicitly to deal with them. Make sure they knew and does it. Yeah. Like, there's a way of writing a lot of these sorts of characters. You need to be smart. It's not even about, I genuinely believe, and this is something that I feel like a lot of people misunderstand, it's fine to have a Superman. You can make a Superman like pre-kryptonite. It's perfectly fine, but you need to make it so then their character is what's interesting. This character can do fucking Homelander. Homelander is a great example of this. He is Superman, right? Like, he's arguably more beatable than Superman, but he's Superman. You've got that, cool. But his character is what's interesting. It's what he stands for and the stuff around that. And now he's like a point of call of the story where the story revolves around the fact that he is overpowered as fuck. So what do you do? But yeah, so it's fine to, it's that whole argument of it's fine to write a character that's just evil for the sake of being evil. Like Sauron, right? Sauron is just evil. Don't justify it. Just, he's evil. He's a fucking bad person. That's fine. But then it's also fine to have characters like Joker, which is chaos. And then it's fine to have that character that's like, I have a tragic past, and this is why I must do this. Because otherwise, your Ottos from Impact, Honkai Impact, right? Like, it's okay to have a character that's like, something fucked up happened, I must do fucked up shit now because of this. That's cool, but don't make it only that. That's one of the issues with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Is that all the fucking villains you feel like you have to care about. That's why Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was such a fucking great movie, because if you try and defend the High Evolutionary in that story, you're probably going to lose your fucking friends in the process. And you're probably going on a watch list. Because he's just an awful person. He's just fucking bad. I'm not going to say that people wouldn't be like that. It's that he's just bad. And that's why it's so good. It's satisfying to see his ass get fucking whooped. It's like, oh, I'm on the ground, I'm crying, you should care. Nah, fuck you, bitch. So it's wielding the right things in the right situation is the big stuff. And it's the problem of, it's easy to just follow a trend of like, oh, well, everyone really likes anti-heroes. I mean, that's manga in general, right? It's like how many anti-hero stories now there is. That's why I was complaining about the whole kicked out of the hero party shit. Because it's, oh, I got kicked out of the hero party and now I'm really strong all of a sudden, or something happens, or I'm actually caring, or I was really, really important to that party and they didn't realize until later is because I did like all of the administrative stuff and all sorts of other things. One of the ones I don't know if I watched it or read it. I think I read it. Was the character was granted the power to basically be the perfect support. His power level is, he is the hero, but he's there to basically, yeah, he enables everything to such an insane capacity. And the beauty of that story was he thought he was getting kicked out because they wanted to get better and expand and improve themselves, not because they were just kind of like being little shitheads. And that story was really, really compelling. Because it was basically, yeah, he looked at it like a fatherly, the chicks leaving the nest because they think they can do well. But the whole time it was actually just straight up his power was so insane that he was giving to them. He was giving them buffs, he was giving them everything, and he would handle the logistics and all of the other situations around them. And it's really important to like acknowledge, yeah, those characters are important. But there's an argument, it's like, oh, well, he's also just OP, which kind of detracted from the beauty of the story. But that's where, like, the OP at level 2 one, that was kind of funny for the concept of it, where it's literally within the first episode, he does something and ends up level 2, and because of that, basically gets infinite stats. Like, literally, the stats turn up as infinite. So he just becomes like this ascended being. And he doesn't realize it. Nothing feels different. And then he gets access to like all the magic ever. And he accidentally nukes an area. And it just keeps going against words. Yeah, like it's those sorts of stories I feel like would be really great as short stories. And I think that's something that like Japan struggles with, is that stuff, but maybe that's just because of the environments I circulate in. But like I feel like that's one of those stories that you could make like 1 or 2 chapters and you're done. The manga completely separated from the as well. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a rough one. I mean, because then at that point in time, it's like, well, is the name even relevant, right? Because the other thing with the story, if I remember, is that like when he does that nuke, he gets to level 300 something. And it's like, okay, so he's no longer even level 2. Like, that's why there was one story I liked, which was, it was one of your generic OP at level 1. He had no stats, but he had insane luck. And it meant that his luck was so high that he could get drops that didn't exist. Outside of the fact that he had like the best luck you could ever get. I think it was like, I can't remember fully, but like it meant that he could get drops that were stats, like just raw stat upgrades. That one was interesting, at least, because like it creates this interesting situation of they can't level up. Yeah, exclusive drop sort of thing. And yeah, it meant that he couldn't from dungeons where, yeah, exactly, right? Like people would go to those dungeons, but there's no drops. And there was some fun things as well to break up the tension in that one. I actually think that was a good example of doing that sort of story right, which is he couldn't level up, but he could get his stats all the way up to being like a point where he did level up, but he levels up in an alternative fashion. He's built different, as they say. That's great. I like that shit. That's fun. That's exploring the concept at a slightly weird angle, and I like that. That's why, in a sense, I dislike the fact that, like, so many stories followed Tensura when it came down to it of, like, oh, give them the ability to consume and gain, like, the powers, but also have them level up. It's like, no, what would be interesting is to see a story where they can only consume and they can't level up. Show me Tensura, but without levels. They, like, everyone else gets levels, but outside of our main character, and that's their strength. That's why Berserker of Gluttony, while it was a piece of edge, it was really, really interesting for that, because, like, levels didn't matter. Stats did. And it was all about consuming stats and this, like, back and forth of the character being absurdly OP, but then also coming back to 0 and then, like, bouncing between these things. That's why I fucking really didn't care about the anime, because it was quite boring. I'm not going to say the manga was good. I'm just going to say it was interesting. And it was really edgy. That's why I think the anime was worse, is because the anime was less edgy. So it's again, it's balance. It's trying to figure out what you want to do with your hook and how committed you are to it. I think that was one of the issues with Shield Hero by the end of it, right? Is that like it stopped being about Shield Hero and his revenge story and started being about like these way grander concepts that just feel so disconnected and uninteresting. And I'm also going to mention, this is my opinion. It is okay to disagree with me on some of these. Like, if you think, oh no, I really enjoyed that story, he's shit-talking it, that's fine. If you enjoy it, that's cool. I'm just looking at it from my analytical perspective. Where, if I was to approach these stories, this is what I would do. This is how I would approach it. And I can kind of speak from this because I did write a few stories back in the day. And I'm writing some stuff at the moment. So it is stuff that I consider. So it's really about just finding that balance of like what matters, right? Because yeah, no, some stories sometimes they start out as a gag series and then they go long enough that they actually have to have a plot. And that's always a rough one. Because it's very clear sometimes that the plot was never intended. And it's fine most of the time though, when like if they do it correctly. Like a one that I would argue it was never intended to probably be as long-standing of a story and like as grand of a story as it was Dragon Maid. Kobayashi-san's Dragon Maid. That one is a story I do not think it was ever intended to go on such a grand scale, but fuck, it was fun enough. And its grand scale stuff wasn't even that grand a scale. It's still scoped within everything that had been established well. And it just was really fun and pretty for that shit. Like, I will not deny I'm primarily an anime watcher for Kobayashi-san. Because it's just, especially the last season they did was so visually gorgeous that I cannot get over it. Still, it was just so fucking awesome. And I would love to see more of it, but you know, there's reasons why that's probably not happening anytime soon. I don't even think they announced that, right? Like, did they ever announce another season for Kobayashi-san? Doesn't have an official release. I just like this because they're saying like, oh yeah, it's definitely gonna get a third season because it was really popular. It's like, yeah, so was fucking No Game No Life, and it's still yet to get its fucking second season. At this point in time, the problem with No Game No Life as well is that they would have to start from the ground up, I think. But the fact that there's no official confirmation means that it's probably no. I love managing data that can't keep track of despaghettification. Yeah. Despaghettification of code is one of the nastiest fucking activities. I swear to God. I say that as literally that's what we've been doing a lot in the this week. I kind of can't wait for next week where we probably just play games most of the week. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of starting to get a bit coded out. Because I don't think there's much else that I can really do outside of just, again, getting our assets done. Getting a bunch of cleanup and getting things working. How How the hell do I put 5 away next frames? Yeah. Oh god. I mean, it's a nasty thing as well with like Game Maker, right? Game Maker doesn't technically have a wait function. I wish I could have like wait functions. Wait functions would be so nice. You know what the worst part about not having wait functions is it means I can't, like, I mean, it's already the case in kind of the engine, but like, you can't really do anything with multi-threading because of it. Like, I can't directly work with multi-threading because I can't wait. And if I can't wait, because like, if I try and do multi-threading and don't have a wait function, holy shit, that would be fucking nasty. Used to have a yield, but they replaced it with the wait, so that is nice, more polite. Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair. But like, holy shit, yeah, no, I wish I had a wait function. I have to manually make that stuff, like, in really bad ways. I don't like it at all. I mean, that's why time sourcing is so useful, right? And alarms. Alarms are technically your wait functions, I guess. But they're just so, because of it all being so all over the place, it's just such a fucking foul time. Also, welcome back, Vendor. I wonder if it would be even worth making wait functionality realistically in these games. If I was given the choice to make a wait function or not in Game Maker, would I? It's because it's feasibly I could, but I just don't see a reason to. I wonder on that. The locks are beginning to fail. Goddamn. The horde will be released. Do you remember the mental pain guy? I don't know if that description's ringing a bell. Gotta be specific, at least 2 are already. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's why I say, like, it's not that it's just that that's not specific enough for me to be able to make an answer off of. What is the value for this? Mental pain was the old account, banned for no reason. I'd could be playing friend versus friend. Ooh, fun. I mean, one of my mates is dragging me into playing Endless Legend 2 a bit at the moment, which is kind of fun. I don't get to play games with my mates often enough. I used to watch your stream on it. I apologize that the name's not coming to mind. User 9U. That seems a bit familiar. You can use them as diversions more, goddamn. That's kind of fucked up, man. collection radius. That's what we have for it. Fuck, where was I writing stuff again? Shop upgrades. Oh, the Spider-Man streams. Okay, that would explain what, admittedly, that is a little time ago for me, so I'm kind of needed a bit of a memory jog there. That makes sense. Okay. Yes, I consider that a long time ago, but I also don't. Leave me alone, okay? I've had a rough year so far. And that one Japanese fighting game, yeah. I should play some more games from console. We will be once Persona's done. I still need to decide on what game I'm going to play. Probably a PlayStation 4 game or a Switch game. We will see. Might play through all of Dishonored again. That might be fun. And then finally beat Dishonored 2. Holy shit, that would be a fucking experience. I love that this is the case. My PlayStation 4 was bought so I could play Dishonored 2, and I have yet to actually get like more than like 3 missions into the game. Subscriber 667. God damn. Back when we were all getting the 69 jokes going. What am I at now? I actually don't even remember. Is there an easy way for me to see? I can probably see from my phone. 749. Okay. I mean, to be fair, I also half don't care about subscriber counts. Like, subscribing is better for you guys than it is for me. Because it means that it's easier to find my content, and if you enjoy it, that's a good thing. Same with liking and all that, because it's just easier for you guys to find the content. I know that sounds really awful to say, oh, I just don't care about subscribers. It's like, genuinely, in my perspective, it's something that is you opting in to be able to find my stuff easier. So it matters more for you than it is for me. Because I'm already above, like, the 500 threshold. I just don't have the watch hours, right? And then I'd need to get to 1,000, which, again, if I'm good enough with my content, that'll happen eventually. And then I'll also have my watch hours at that point. And then, sure, I'll get ad revenue, which would be nice. But also, that's not likely to happen anytime soon. Or at least how I see it. Not unless I commit way more to YouTube, like doing videos as well as the stuff that I have normally. What's my favorite game? Depends on what genre. I will openly admit, like, I know that was a bit of a cop-out answer, but genuinely, like, it does depend on the genre. Because, like, I have a lot of games I really like. I mean, Star Rail's a really fun one. I enjoy playing that. I play that just about every day. I say just about, pretty much every day. I daily log in for that. First-person shooter. Ooh, what's a favorite for first-person shooter? Probably, like, Halo 3. Or Halo Reach. One of those two. Because those are probably the ones I've played the most. Yeah, Halo Reach. I loved Halo Reach. I really fucking played the shit out of that game. It was probably the portion of Halo multiplayer I played the most. I played a lot of, like, 2 and 3. 2 is a bit harder for me. What's the worst game I can think of? Ooh, what is the worst game I can think of? Do we want to make a rule for that of I can only say ones that I've played? Because I feel like I can name a few that I personally dislike. And I'm going to say it from personal perspective, not objective. And then that's the other important thing I need to put forward. Because, like, it's easy for me to objectively say a game is bad, but then I'd feel bad. Like, I'm kind of putting these self-restrictions on because it would make it easier for me to kind of, like, narrow it down in my head. Because I also don't like judging a game just based off other people's opinions all the time. So I'm trying to stick to games I have played. Games I have played. What do I think is bad? Dark Souls 2 is pretty bad in my eyes. Has a lot of problems. Galactic Civilizations 3, that was not great. Payday 3 was definitely a step down from Payday 2. Terra Tech felt a little too slow to me for what it was trying to do. Yeah, stuff like that. What is the best graphics game that you have? Best graphics game I have? Oh, that's a good question, actually. I mean, Endless Space 2 is the one I've been playing at the moment. It's probably up there. Warframe. I mean, Warframe is one of my highest play hour games. It's probably in the top 5 at least, at 3K hours. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Another game that I would say is worse, but that's only because like time has not done it justice, is Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight suffered a lot from its how long it's been going. It was a great game, and I just don't think it's as interesting now because people have gotten sweatier. What's my least favorite genre? Definitely platformers. Platformers are definitely my least favorite genre. And as a personal thing, I just don't really like jumping, like side-scroller jumping. So that's why, like, I played through Shovel Knight, but I still didn't enjoy the game as much as I feel like I should have. In fact, I enjoyed it more when I watched someone else play it. Same with Hollow Knight. So, take that as you will. I think Celeste is a fucking phenomenal game, but I don't think I'll ever play it myself because it's just... I just don't find that stuff fun and interesting. I don't know. Call me an old man, maybe. It's my reaction speed. At least with shooter, I get things. What's my favorite genre? Probably like 4X strategy is what I would hazard to say. It's a genre that I wish I could play more of, but the problem is 4X games have a big problem, right? With it's really hard to get into them. Like, it's very commonly really hard to get into them. And once you get into them, if you're good, you suffer. Because this is what I've had. I love playing them. None of my friends like playing them because of me. In fact, I used to play a lot of Endless Legend with a group of friends I'm no longer in contact with. And at the time, we would play. One of the second best player of our group would specifically build just to fuck me over. Just so the game was more even. And I couldn't fault him on that because it made sense. The game is called Holocure, right? This game, no. This game is, I mean, at the moment, it's VTuber United, I believe is the name for it. But that name is currently pending a change. It actually has a change name in the works. I just need to get the assets done for that. No, I won't take claim for holocure. Holocure is made by Kay, which is a dev that I would love to get in contact with because he's an awesome person. Or they're an awesome person, and I would love to hear their thoughts on a lot of things because they seem very, very talented. In fact, I stand by, I think I said this before, but like if Kay ever approached me with an idea and asked if I could help, I would. Like, I would definitely help. Because it would be a hell of a learning experience for me. And that just sounds awesome. But no, I follow Kay on Twitter. Don't know what it is. I'm glad. I am actually really, really glad that that's the case. Oh, what the fuck? Sorry, I just saw something. Apparently there's gonna be like a Star Rail Madoka Magica game coming to PC soon. Because it was already on mobile. Madoka Magica Magia Extera. Extera? Extera. I'll have a look at that later. But yeah, I mean, I always try and do, with my streams, and trying to do my best to get my stuff done, but also be informative and interesting and fun. I'm gonna head out, probably see you tomorrow. I won't be streaming tomorrow, I've got a doctor's appointment, but I will be back on Friday. So, the day after. I'm pretty sure it's Thursday for most people. The problems with being on a different, very, very different time zone to the rest of the world. Is what it is. You know what, I might actually take a break soon too, because I do want to get back to watching my stuff and take a bit of a break before getting into art, because I need to get art stuff done today. I need to get art stuff done today because I want to get a shitload done tomorrow once I've had my doctor's appointment, which I'm not looking forward to that, by the way. That appointment's gonna be fucking depressing. I can't wait for a doctor's appointment that I've put off for like a year and a half because I'm deteriorating health. Expect either me putting on a brave face or me being really, really depressed on Friday. I don't expect tomorrow to be good news. The benefit I have is that they're not going to probably be able to do the tests tomorrow. So I'm probably not going to be able to get all my results and find out how bad it is at that stage. Alright. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it here just because we've done the majority of what we wanted to do. We've got the shop system here. So the benefit of this is this means I can now kind of hand off with my mate to start working on the UI stuff for this. I just want to get a few assets done before I do hand off to him. It'll be pretty cool from that. So yeah, I think been going for a bit over 3 hours, so this feels a bit more comfortable. I feel like I've had too many short streams recently, which is a bad thing. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You're awesome. Stay awesome, and I hope to see you again next time. Until then, goodbye.